What is good, everyone out there in our NBA world? We are MNC Hoops. I am one of your co-hosts, Michael. The C on there, the M and the C is CJ up in New York. We are live back with you. A lot to talk about and some more emotional parts of it. Different things going on. Some crazy stuff that happened this week, really. But before we jump into all that, CJ, how you doing today, sir?
Doing well. Really good week. Kind of like doing the shows like towards the end of the week because we could kind of
Recap.
recap and really react to everything. So we'll see how we'll let the people decide and we'll discuss and see if we like that going forward. But
Let's just go ahead. Thursdays are better.
let's continue to converse about it. And then we'll let the people know. But yeah, week was good. Week was really good. Uh, 2 games left in the regular season. Every team is playing tonight. So
Oh, wow.
the playoffs is play-in is right around pretty much here, and then from there we have the playoffs. So it's going to be exciting.
Well, for me, for my week, it's full of sports. If I'm not watching it on my TV, it's of course my son playing and my kids playing. I don't know if I've talked to you guys live on here since my daughter has blossomed out in basketball a little bit. I think I talked to you last time about her getting 5 rebounds and really liking it. So last Saturday was our second game. And Micah, my son, he's the one that like knowledge of the game, knows what's going on, ready to go, trying to get 32 points in a little league game. He's 8 years old, but you can see him with the steals and the offense that he does. That it's there for an 8-year-old, and he got 2 points with a bunch of rebounds and stuff. But Kaylin, my oldest one, who first week was holding her arms like this, dodging the ball, she ended up with 6 points last week and at least 7 rebounds. So again, she's 8 years old. If you guys seen her first week compared to now, it was quite comical one time because she literally did get a defensive rebound and head down, but dribbled all the way across, grabbed it, switched it over, and then shot like a layup almost. And the girls coach for the school and I just like we looked up, was like, okay, that looked like a baller right there. So I'm ready to start a girls AAU team for 7 and 8-year-olds. But it was fun to watch that. Micah, we almost got our first W in baseball yesterday. It was the bottom of the sixth, 2 outs, and our two best hitters were up. My first one strikes out. That's 2 outs on Micah. I'm sorry. And gets up, and I just told him I was about to put pressure on because we were down by 1 run, and he was at the plate. And I just said, you know what, just have fun. Anyways, he knew, because I didn't have to put the pressure on him. He knew the circumstances. Killed one, got us a actual triple. Not one of those run the first, overthrow, run the second, all that. To the fence. He made it the third before the ball got in. We were very proud of him, but nobody knocked him out, and we lost. But we were close to winning our first game. So exciting. Very emotional week for Dad all around. Loving it. But who else had an emotional game here recently? Let's just jump into our first topic on that. And of course, you guys know if you watch any NBA what we're talking about here. And we're talking about Luka going back to Dallas for his first time since being traded and dropping 45 points. Of course, they do lose 112-97. Of course, some stuff that doesn't get talked about is this is AD's first game against the Lakers since being traded as well. I'm sorry, I was going from AD. That's where my mind was going. Yes, the Lakers got the win. Dallas does lose. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. In my head, I was going to the AD because everybody's seen the little hand gesture from AD to LeBron. But do you have the clip of? And I know you got this, but do you have the live clip of where the inspirational, I guess, or the tribute while he was there emotionally?
Yeah, I can pull that up.
I just thought you might have had it, but it's tough game for him. Of course, 45 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals. LeBron, of course, 27, 7, and 3. I'm reading it straight from the side. You guys who are watching this can see it. But what do you think of this game? And I know you're locked in with the Lakers, possibly pushing forward to win the championship with this lineup. But what was your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it was time. It was definitely a game that was on the calendar for sure in order to kind of end the chapter. Started his career in Dallas with the trade and everything that transpired on draft day. 5 All NBA seasons, first team All NBA seasons, 2 Western Conference Finals appearances, a final appearance. This is all in like 6.5 seasons that he did all this. So definitely a weird dynamic, a weird trade. Still really don't know why and what happened. It's just still really, they try to say it's about the conditioning and things like that. To me, I don't feel like that's good enough of a reason. Because if that's the case, you're telling me, you can't converse with him, you can't talk to him, tell him, hey, this is what we need you to work on. That's not a discussion you can't have. Then what are you really doing as an organization? I mean, this guy's one of the best players in the league. And, he goes to the Lakers, of all teams, not one of these low level, bad organizations. This is an organization that all they know is superstars. They know how to take care of superstars. They know what it takes to win championships with great players, and great players on one team as well. And the players that they bring to the Lakers also understand what's expected. So, now this is a new chapter. He closed your one in Dallas, I believe, on Wednesday. Really just started going crazy in the first half, knocking down a bunch of threes. Once he's knocking down his threes at an efficient clip, there's really nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do once he's able to knock down his threes, because from there, now he could beat you off the dribble, and you have to help. But since he's a great playmaker, if you go tag, he's going to hit that a wide open man on the weak side. So he has the vision. He sees everything. When it comes playoff time, you think about half court offenses. I mean, he's one of the best half court players in the league. Yep. And then they have 2 other players as well. LeBron James, one of the greatest half court players ever. And Austin Reeves, we see, is developing into a great player in the half court as well. So that's what you need in the playoffs to be successful, to win games at home and on the road. And the Lakers have that now. And for Dallas, I was disappointed in the way AD played. I thought he would come out and play with some more energy. Like for that clip of you flipping off LeBron or whatever, that's for that to be the highlight of the game for you it's kind of sad. It should definitely be you going out there, putting up a great performance, putting up the same performance you put up your first game in a Maverick uniform before you ultimately got hurt and came back. And even a few games before that, you had 27, you had 34. So it's not like it was out of the ordinary to go out and have a great game. The Lakers went out, they accepted the trade. They could have said no, right? So in a way, they're also saying that they didn't want you. We're going to take Luka over you any day of the week. Some players look at it differently. Now, of course, they're not fully manned. They didn't have Kyrie, and I do believe when Kyrie is there with the team that they have, they're going to be one of the best teams in the league.
Absolutely.
And of course, now the injury concerns from both players is definitely a conversation that needs to be had. They're both on the other side of 30 with a lot of miles on their bodies. So that's you have to be objective about that. But when they're on the court, I believe they're going to be special with Jason Kidd and with the team that they have. They have a good team. This is a championship team. That remains to be seen. When you see LeBron and Luka, you automatically think about conference finals. I mean, if you know the game of basketball, and then you look at what else they have around them, it's great. Rui Hachimura, underrated. He's probably one of the most underrated players in the league. He can knock down a 3. He can step up, pull up for a mid-range. He can slash. He can knock down free throws. Good defender. He could go out there and face and front Jokic before the help comes. Be physical. Doesn't get talked about a lot because of the other 3 guys, granted. But Dorian Finney-Smith, Vanderbilt, they all do the dirty work. They all do the things necessary for those 3 guys to be highlighted in the way we talk about them. So all around great team. JJ Redick. I mean, the spacing is perfect. I mean, he's one of the greatest shooters ever. So he understands the spacing, putting guys in the right spots in the corner to really create space. It's so difficult for you to go out and help. And if you do, you're going to pay for that with great playmakers that they have. So that, with the combination of everything they've done, they're going to be a dangerous team. So New chapter, and I believe this new chapter is going to the playoffs. Just lost in the finals, a lot to prove on a new team. It'd be crazy to not see this team as being one of the most dangerous teams going into the postseason.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of piggyback what you're saying there as far as half court offense going back that far when you was talking about the Lakers. That's probably their most scariest thing is that, when it does get to playoffs, everyone plays defense. That's what everyone always says. Obviously, they play all year, but it's more physical, more desirable defense of what you're trying to do. And if you got Luka in a half court offense, you're okay. But if you got LeBron in the offense, you're okay. These two are on the same team. So that's definitely a huge advantage for them. And just kind of talking about the Mavericks, I do think the trade's going to benefit for both of them, like you said, as long as they all stay healthy. Of course, we're talking about Kyrie and Anthony Davis on the same team. But if you actually look at just the stat chart or the game stats from the Mavs Lakers, quite obvious that they're missing Kyrie, of course. Mavs shot 50%, 35 from 3, and 70 from 3 free throw. Lakers were 47, 33, and 76. So really, the Mavericks shot better, other than free throws, than the Lakers. But if you look at it, they both were washed on rebounds, 39 Lakers, 38 Mavs, and assists were whatever. But the turnovers for the Mavs, they had 19 turnovers to the Lakers 9. And really, that's the main difference on here. Having someone to take care of the ball that's going to eliminate a lot of those turnovers, like a Kyrie, is going to show us more of what Dallas can be next year. Of course, whoa, hit a cable there, about knocked it over. So this is still a trade that we won't see the fulfillment of it as far as the teams at full strength until February, if not March now. And it's great seeing how the Lakers are playing, but I can't wait to see how the Mavs are playing as well, because this is really going to linger for them, especially the owner there, until it actually shows what they did. So everyone in Dallas is still like, why did we do this trade? And it's going to be like that for another pretty much year. So poor guy from him, but it is what it is until Kyrie gets back.
Yeah, it was a crazy dynamic watching the game, and the crowd is cheering for Luka, the entire arena. They're cheering for Luka. Usually when that situation, former player goes to a new team, there's a boos. There really weren't. There weren't any boos there. A lot of fire, Nico, fire. The crowd.
Crazy.
It's kind of weird because you're paying a ticket and he's getting paid because you pay that ticket, just for you to chant out fire Nico. Like, I get it, but then also it's like you're kind of like a hypocrite, right? Because if you really wanted him fired, you wouldn't show up to the games, right? So. But I listen. It's that interaction between the fan and they're upset, and they have every right to be upset because they didn't. Right. They paid the ticket and they didn't have a say in this move. So I could see why. I get why they're upset. They pay all this bunch of money, and granted, so they feel like they had a great ROI with a young 26-year-old future Hall of Famer, and now all of a sudden you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, this guy's no longer on the team after we just went to the finals. From the Maverick fans, I get it, and it's crazy. Like I said, I just never heard that before. The crowd, the whole crowd chanted fire, and multiple times throughout the game. In the beginning of the game, the middle, it was definitely an interesting dynamic, something we've never seen in NBA history. And when you make a big move like this, and all things considered, looking at
if you've ever seen it in a team or in a game like that, it's usually a team that's like in dead last. Okay, we need to change. We're not going anywhere. But this team is actually still right now 10th place in the play-in. It's like fire your guy, but at the same time, you're still there. And that's what's more crazy in this whole situation as far as how they're treating the ownership or the front office with that. Because, yes, we all think it's crazy the trading, but the way that they have turned on him, and still, like you said, going to the games, but I mean, it's probably season ticket. They probably already paid those at the beginning of the year, so they're going to go, might as well. But it's so weird because it's a good team still. Like, West 10th is tough, and you don't have Kyrie. So, man, I'd love it if somehow we could get a play-in win by Dallas, and somehow that I don't know if it's even possible that the Lakers could get to that spot where they'd play Dallas in the first round. That would be wonderful. Of course, it would not be much of a series, I don't think, without Kyrie. But it would be fun to watch just to hear the fans interact in Dallas.
Yeah, seating purposes, yeah, it probably won't end up that way, unfortunately. But yeah, just the last thing for me on this, Anthony Davis just has to step up. This is really, this is this is also a new chapter for AD. I mean, again, so like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? Because they're trying to fire Nico. You could be the guy that could silence all that, but with the way you play and impact winning, you've seen him impact winning. He's won a title and two important elite levels in the game of basketball in college and in the pros. So we know he could do that, but now this is a little bit different now. So what type of Anthony Davis are we going to get? Are we going to get an MVP candidate AD going forward
consistently?
I would like to see him, see if he could, what's up, work out with Dirk, add some things to his game from Dirk, being a former power forward. The team is there. Like I said, Lively and Gafford, they both could throw lobs to AD. They have great, they're good playmakers at that 5 spot. So now you have a dynamic where they both could be short. All 3 guys could be short rollers with Kyrie on the screen action. So they're going to be dangerous for sure. Like,
oh yeah,
if you follow the game, they're going to be tough to stop. So, but ultimately, Anthony Davis has to step up. In the regular season, has to be available. In the regular season and in the postseason, has to be dominant, available and dominant. That's the only way they could even try to make this trade sound like a good trade going forward. I mean, it really had nothing to do with AD, bro. So, I don't see why he would have any problems with AD if in terms of helping him work on his game.
Unless he's just upset with Dallas and doesn't want to help Dallas out. Not so much AD, but I mean, I think he's hurt with the Luka trade, but Dallas loves him. Like, I think that's still there. Like the relationship, I don't think that's been hurt, but
absolutely not.
What's your thoughts on that? Do you think Dirk and Dallas is still good?
I believe so. Of course. I mean, he was in the suite during the game, so gotcha. During the game with the Lakers, if you're in the suite, I'm sure he didn't pay for any of that.
Right.
He built that entire organization. So yeah, if I'm AD, I'm like, listen, how can I work on my game? What things can I add to my game offensively? So I could bring a championship here, just like you did.
Exactly.
Like, that's out of the realm of a conversation? I feel like that's possible. Hopefully, we see that.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, it's a breakup. Like Dirk is there. You lost your guy. He went off somewhere else. Now this is who you have back. It's a rebound. So let's move forward and get over it. And life goes on. Unfortunately, time heals everything. So let's make the best out of it. Dirk's going to be there and still go on them dates. But, of course, it's crazy that you're talking about firing the front office during the game. But, there's been talk of, it's happened now, but, a firing somewhere else. And that's over in Denver, where we got the Nuggets firing head coach Michael Malone. Jokic posts triple-double in the first game after the move. Of course, Denver 124 over Sacramento 116. So this is kind of hard to put in together, but let's start with the firing at least. What's your thoughts on it? Drink milk.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was definitely shocked. I did not see this move happening now. Of course, there's going to be people they'll come out and say, yeah, I saw this, writing was on the wall. Got you. Got it. I hear you. But a couple of games before the end of the season, championship head coach, the Taylor Jenkins one move, I was shocked by. This stuff definitely something I didn't see. Usually, even if there is some type of friction, you finish the season out. All these coaches talk about finish and play through the whistle and all this other motivational stuff. And then here we are, 2-3 games before the regular season. You get rid of it doesn't look good aesthetically. Now I don't know what happened, what was going on behind the scenes in Denver, right? We won't find that out probably till like 10, 15 years from now. Somebody will write a book, right?
Yep.
Or do some type of docu-series. But
30 for 30.
This is just one of the pieces that could determine the future of Nikola Jokic with the Denver Nuggets. It absolutely does, because whoever's going to be this next head coach, they have to get it right, because an extension is looming. And I said, like, loyalty stuff it sounds incredible, but as I said last week, if Jokic wants to be an all timer, he wants to be up there with Shaq and Kareem and Will Chamberlain, Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, all these great front court players that we saw over the last 30, 40 years, 50 years. You have to win championships. And all of those dominant centers had elite perimeter players alongside them en route to those championships. Now, he's in the most difficult conference. They have a great team. The team is not. They have a really good team. Can the team win a championship? Why not? Why not? He's the best player in the world, right? I mean, we used to say LeBron used to take his teams to the finals. He was clear cut best player in the world. He was taking his teams to the finals. So, what's good? So definitely, they're going to have a shot. They're always going to have a shot as long as he's healthy, because of what he can do on the basketball court. This is a big move. It's a big move. Now there's some stories, and they were going to be quick with these stories. As soon as this dropped, I already knew it.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they do, and it's always someone's fault, right? Someone always has to be the scapegoat. But here's just some other things that came out after the firing. Said rival teams began to hear that Nikola's patience was wearing thin in Denver due to the team's struggles. Per The Athletic, the Nuggets locker room was a mess, with team and league sources indicating that the franchise's most important players, including three-time league MVP Nikola Jokic, had grown frustrated and fatigued by Malone's fiery ways. So could that be a possibility? What do you think?
Those are those comments that we'll never know. Something had to go on. And Jokic, because there's been even conversations with him like, oh, I heard before the players heard, but the decision was already made. I find that somewhat hard to believe with the best player in the world not saying, yes, I get it. Okay, it's business, or no, man, I want to keep him or I'm out. I feel like that conversation would have happened first. So I want to say Jokic had to be, I won't say a huge percentage or anything, but he had to at least have some percentages in it to say it was okay. Could have been 30%. All right, I don't like it, but I understand we do need to make that change. He's got to go. Maybe something like that. But to act like he didn't know, I don't think this was a Dallas where kid is finding out in a press conference, says, I had no clue he made the move. Jokic knew a little bit of this. There's no way he didn't. So I do think something was going on in the locker room. We won't know what, like you said, for a long time. There's even some people dropping articles. I don't know if you've seen this, but it was talking about Malone's favoritism to certain players. And it was talking about, of course, Jokic, Gordon, Murray, they all should get it. And, of course, Porter should get it as well. But they were talking about that one was okay, but a lot of the players didn't like the favoritism for Westbrook and how he's been treated with the minutes he's been getting with what was going on there. So, again, who knows if it's true or not, but something definitely is going on to push that to go on. Oh, look at you. You do have the see here, let me blow this up here. Players in the Nuggets began to lose faith in Michael Malone after he gave Russell Westbrook special treatment. All the while, Malone's choice to continue supporting Westbrook, despite the frustration he was causing on and off the floor, ultimately led to a loss of credibility among the key players. And it was one thing when Malone handled Jokic and Murray with the legacies, basically, but what he was doing, but affording Westbrook that sort of treatment, even with his Hall of Fame resume, wasn't received very well. Sorry, my dog was running here. I got a little distracted too. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that's one thing I'd heard. And I don't know why Westbrook's getting thrown into this. To me, it's the coach and front office, how it should be, and just go on. Westbrook has great games. He has bad games. Obviously, everyone's already been jumping on since these have come out that Westbrook missed 1 for 4 now, and it's getting trash minutes and all this stuff. And it's like, find something else to use on this. Like, this had to be head coach, front office, something going on. Yes, the players could disagreed. Yes, the coach could have lost all that, whatever. But front office, if I don't like my coach, I'm going to fire him. If we're winning and in 5th, 6th place, whatever it is, if players, coaches don't get along, I'm going to have a meeting and be like, hey, listen, we're men, we're adults, we're professionals. This is a business. You may have your little tantrums that you're having here, but line it out and win. That's what we're here to do. And it's done. But so I don't know how much of it I'll believe. I guess I'll have more of an opinion on this after the season when we might hear more about it. But I don't know. I'm gonna bring in Henny's comment because it's been up here for a while. We've not had a chance to bring it in, but he said that they say it's because how bad they been since they won a championship, which he doesn't see that it's been that bad. They just took a loss losing Brown. I do think that was a huge loss after that. And but last 3-2 game before playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Last couple games before the playoffs started. Yeah, the Westbrook thing it's just lazy. I really look at it as it's just lazy analysis. Of course, I
feel like it's an scapegoat.
Of course, he's going to favor Westbrook. He's a veteran player, just like the other guys that you mentioned. He's a league MVP. He's been to the multiple finals. Like, I don't understand Western. It's just you. Of course, you're going to favor an older player like that in terms of certain things. Just because he just got on the team, there's still a seniority, there's still a hierarchy, where there's a respect level there. You don't bring you bringing him because of everything. You're getting the experience, the good plays, the bad plays, the leadership. So this doesn't even sound like a real issue to me. So yeah, there may be some younger players on the team that may not have liked that, but ultimately, once you put the time in the league, then when you get to that point, if you get to 10 years in the league, like 15 years, like Westbrook, you'll get that same. You hope and you should be appreciative if you ever get that same type of treatment. So I don't really know. I feel like this is just something they're trying to write about. Mm-hmm. When I saw this, I just think really what it looked like was Malone and also Calvin Booth, the GM. He also got fired. So both of them got fired. They were saying that there was some conflict between both of those guys, and ultimately Josh Kroenke, the owner, is just ultimately like, listen, we're not just gonna keep on. We just get rid of both of you guys. Start fresh, start new. Jokic did say that he heard about it a little bit before everybody else, and he really didn't go into detail. Obviously, of course not. So it's what's next. What's next? Talk about next man up. You know what I'm saying? All these things come back. These coaches have all these
next coach up.
Yeah, next coach up. Next coach up, and the interim guy Rick. I think it might be David Adelman, Rick Adelman's son. I was a head coach for a long time with the Kings, been up a couple other places, but now he's getting an opportunity to coach the Denver Nuggets and coach Nikola Jokic. So let's see what he does.
Opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. What an opportunity. It's going to be a lot of pressure again, because I said, what Coach Jokic? Yeah, definitely. He's definitely a coach.
Yeah.
Can we have a dynamic here where he's a player coach?
I hope not.
Bill Russell did it. So, they were already showing the clip of him on the other side,
clipboard,
drawing up the plays, and it's just like a quarterback. I don't really see what the problem is. It's just like a quarterback, and he's right up. He's right up there, bro. He just need a few more chips. Right up there with Bill Russell, 1,000%. And yeah, the Westbrook thing is just lazy. It's easy to do. He just got on the team. He's had some situations on some previous teams. Lakers didn't work out. Clippers, there was some the way it ended was weird, but it was started off great. Hey,
I want to ask you a question, and I don't like what I'm about to ask, but I need to know what your thoughts on this are. With the way the league has went, with all the analytics, and we'll get more into that later, how important is the head coach on an NBA team now.
Yeah, very important. Very important. You need that voice. You need somebody. You need a leader in the locker room. You can't just have the players doing everything. You need structure. You need order. And you need professionalism. And it starts from the ownership. Then it goes to the president and GM and the head coach. And the head coach has to really is kind of the middle guy where he's with the front office and a part of them completely committed, but also completely committed to the guys on the court that he's coaching and helping them guide them. You don't get to where everybody. If you play any type of sport, you always talk about your coaches. Always,
Yeah.
It always goes back to who your coaches: Coach Hayward, Coach James, Coach Williams.
Mm-hmm.
It matters. It matters, especially when you have the right. Some really good ones when you're young.
Mm-hmm.
They teach you the game. You have to start somewhere. So I don't think we'll ever.
And I 100% agree with you on that. But at the NBA level now, I kind of feel like the extreme importance of it has backed off a little bit. Other than, hey, we've got to figure out what kind of plays we're wanting to do, and this is what schematics we're going to do on defense. But it's almost analytics with that when it's like, okay, here's what AI told us that we need to do against this team as far as matchups, who shoots where, and all this stuff. So it's almost a voice of our computers nowadays. And I say it because I'm a baseball fan too. MLB, to me, managers are almost a thing of the past because it's basically, okay, this guy pitches this way, we're swinging for the fences anyways. If it happens, this is what we're moving. To me, I felt like this for a while now, that the managers in MLB are almost just a computer now. Like, seriously, a computer could run your baseball team the way they commit to it. Now, in basketball, I do think it's completely different for the fact that you've got to run the schemes. You've got to have your play set up and what points you're going to do what, of course, with that. So that's why I hated to ask it, to even think that I don't think coaches are that important. But really, it's shoot a three and basically shoot as many as you can. And the grown men can kind of come up with the plays, but I hate to even say it, that I think it. But it's almost pointless to worry about. Anyways, he says, to be honest, that's where the next generation coaches need to step up, like Joe, all about numbers. See, I hate all about numbers, but it is that way now. That's my old head coming out on that. Like, if you're
about numbers.
Slower than me, I'm going by you. If you're bigger than me, I'm going to shoot a jump shot away from you. Like, it's just what you do, instead of like, hey, let's shoot more threes because we can miss more, but we can score more that way. I hate it.
It just all depends on your personnel. It all depends on your personnel. If you have the personnel to where you can shoot a bunch of threes and really get that output, and you feel like that in complement with some other things, some post ups, going attacking the basket at an efficient clip. That's really where it matters first. Like I know the 3-point game and everything is really prevalent in today's game, but you have to be efficient in the paint in order for you to really get great shots from the 3-point line. That's how you truly get great shots, is when you really get into the basket. So that's where it starts first. And when you have great players that can get to the basket one-on-one, it opens up those array of 3-point shots. So why not do it if you have a bunch of shooters? I get it, but I just don't think every team needs to do it. Like, every team doesn't have what the Celtics have, right? Yes. So you need to work around what your team is great at, and that's where you'll really see a great coach. As opposed to this coach saying, "Yeah, this is our system. You got to shoot a bunch of threes if you want to be here." Now, what do you do well? Okay, you do this well. We can fit you in with this lineup, but we still need you to work on your spacing, because that will take your game to the next level, and then you ultimately make more money. I mean, why wouldn't you? And we need that, but what you're good at right now, we can still fit you in our rotation. You have to be great at that, though, and better than anybody else that has a different jersey. That's it. That's the mindset. So there's a lot of players that get casted out the league because they were so great in certain roles, but they may not have been great at shooting right away. And now, listen, I mean, they probably still play professionally overseas and things of that nature, but it wasn't the NBA because, as you said, people are so focused on the spacing. So, but yeah, this Westbrook it's just sad, man. It's just sad that we're going to do this. It was just I knew it was going to happen. I don't think it really had anything to do with Westbrook. I think it was something that was going on way before Westbrook. Um, People talked about Calvin Booth wanted the younger Jalen Pickett to go and play more,
Yeah.
and Mike Malone wanted Westbrook to play. I mean, Pickett has to earn those minutes, right? I mean, you talk about he has to earn those minutes, and then Michael Malone is watching the film and watching these guys practice film. Not even just game. Remember, you got to watch the practice film too. So if you're watching the practice film and he's not outperforming Westbrook, or I don't know. I say we don't really know all the details yet. This is still very fresh. We're only less than a weekend. So as more details come out, we'll see like what was really happening. Maybe was he outperforming Westbrook in practice, and Malone still went with. We don't know yet. But right now, it's just one of those weird scenarios, and I'm interested to see what the Nuggets are going to do in the postseason with this new head coach and Jokic kind of just running the ship right now.
Yeah, I'm going to say this again. I think Westbrook is going to be and is already being used as the scapegoat. The Lakers problems, the Clippers, and now it's coming here. Like, he is Mr. Triple Double for our generation. Like, he still can do that stuff. So I don't think that's a problem. But anyways, you're saying you don't know what to expect or what are they going to do in the playoffs. What's next is what I'm trying to say, so I can use that for a transition to our next topic here. But the team of the West, unfortunately for me, is now the team at the home because the Phoenix Suns are missing the playoffs. And what's next for these big threes as you pull up, Booker, KD, and Bill? And what's next with the whole team? Because let's be honest, out of all the teams in the NBA, this is one of the worst teams as far as knowing what their future is. Because we've talked many times on this show, is KD being traded? Zari was talking that during the trade deadline that he was up for discussion. If he's traded, does Booker get out of there as well? Is they finish everything out? But of course, now that they've got 2 first-round picks, 1 in 25, 1 in 26. So there is some interest possibly on those picks if they want to try to move players in there. But just, CJ, what's next with the Suns?
So individually, both KD, Booker, and Bill, they have to decide what they want to do with their own life individually first. And then, of course, collectively, they have to have a conversation about what's next for them. And then from there, you talk to Matt Ishbia, James Jones. I don't know if James Jones would be there. He's been there for a while and he's had a lot of opportunities, but this is 3 head coaches in 5 years. It's not something that you don't really see presidents and GMs stay that long. You're on 3 head coaches in 5 years in basketball. We definitely don't see it in any other sport. Definitely don't see it in football.
No.
GMs and presidents don't get to see 3 head coaches in 5 years and still remain. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But first, what comes down to is, do they want to continue to be teammates? And I just, over these 2 years or so, I just didn't really see. I didn't really see it. I didn't really see I didn't see anything special as a team. Individually, yeah, they played well, but as a team, I didn't see anything great. I didn't see a championship team. Never saw a playoff contending team. Your defensive numbers are literally second to last or last in the league. In the league, like down with some of the worst teams in the league, lottery teams. And when you have that type of talent on your lineup, definitely the most disappointing team this season, because they were more healthy than Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George. So they were out there much more than those 3 guys. So I can't say Philadelphia is the most disappointing team when these players were available.
We're playing.
Playing and not performing well. So Budenholzer, it's the question mark. What do you do?
Yep.
Does he stay? So it really just it really just goes down to what they want to do. Do they want to continue to be teammates? And that's really and then with Bill is going to matter with Bill too because he has no trade clause.
Yeah.
So he still has he has the leverage. Didn't matter how coming off the bench, coming back, starting, he still has leverage on where he could go in his career. And if you're looking at him, it's like you go from Washington, All NBA guy, was averaging 30. I thought he was going to take another step. You know what I mean? To like
I did too.
so. I still believe it's there. I just think it was a bad fit. It was just a bad fit. Sometimes it happens. You know, you go to a certain job and it's not a great fit.
It was not greener on the other side.
It was not. It was not. Like I said, defensively, they never sacrificed for the greater good of the team. They kind of just did their own thing, and this is what you got: eliminated. No KD or Booker or Bradley Beal in the playoffs. That's pretty sad. They couldn't even make the play in, so we couldn't even see him for at least one game. So this is KD's career so far with the Phoenix Suns. Second round exit, sweep, missed the playoffs. That's coming from the Nets, where you got swept. And the record wasn't looking great before you got traded. So, post Golden State, it's not looking great for KD. Legacy still set in stone, and it's already he's already locked it in. But in terms of, I truly believe KD would have more than 2 championships at this stage. I thought he'd have more than 2 chips. Now, listen, Achilles, you can't, nobody be able to see that, right? But these last 5 years since 2021, right? When everybody talks about that shot where the foot, they're so enamored with that game. I'm just like, okay, bro, they lost. They lost. That's what it is. We watched the game and they lost. They went into OT and they lost. It's been difficult. It's been difficult to really see KD in these last 4 years. Get swept twice, miss the playoffs. I don't know, lose 2, win 2, then lose 2 in a series against Denver. This next stop has to be it. This has to be it. LeBron, this is again, we talk about LeBron, after Cleveland, he said, I'm going to go to the Lakers. And LeBron has been with the Lakers the second longest time with any other team outside of Cleveland. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? You told me in 2014, LeBron would be a Laker for 8 years. I'm like, you're crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's been there for 8 years. It don't seem that long.
So,
go ahead.
So KD has been, Brooklyn, Phoenix, and then it's going to be another team. So, it's can he win a championship without Steph? Listen, it's just I want to see it. I want to see it. It takes his legacy as a player to another level, all-time status, because that's what it did for Steph. What did Steph need? He needed the Finals MVP. He just needed he needed the Finals MVP, and we're saying top 10.
Yep.
So Booker's still young. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna. I don't know what's up with Booker. It's pretty interesting. He's like 27, 28. So he's at the stage where he could still be there. I don't know, but what is a trade for KD going to look like? What are you going to get back in return? Are you going to get anything that's remotely close to contending? That's the real question. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't look like that, then you might need to have some conversations with Book as well. And in terms of the future, they really don't have any assets in terms of draft picks. They gave all of that away. It's just a bad situation for Matt Ishbia and the Phoenix Suns.
But now they did acquire a 2025 second round pick and a 2031 first round. So, but that's still way out there. But yeah, it's killing me because I liked KD and I still like KD. I don't get me wrong on there when I said I liked. But to me, his career, his legacy career part. Let me use the word legacy. Since Brooklyn is downsending. I hate to say it, just because of the outcome of what's going on. Because no playoffs, like this is tough. Now, obviously, he's still a great player. Don't get me wrong. Stats, everything he's doing good. It's just the fact that he's not even in contention to get the ring. So it's like, what's going on him? We see what happened at Golden State. Him and Draymond Green, yes, they get the ring, but then there's a fallout there. He leaves. Now Golden State has gotten a ring since then. He goes to Brooklyn and has a basically fallout there where he leaves, and now he's in Phoenix. And it looks like we're having a fallout here in Phoenix. So I guess his legacy on that is getting crippled by what's going on the past 4 or 5 years, to me. I hope we can turn that around because he is a solid player, 6'11", that has moves like Jagger. I don't know why that's the only thing I can think of right now. But and it's just great potential on everything out there. But what kills me too is I want to say, I looked it up just a second ago. I want to say they're 25th in rebounding. 25th in rebounding. When you have KD playing the four at 6'11", if not 7 foot, you got Bol that didn't play much this year, but towards the end of the season was playing, getting more minutes. You went out and got Nick Richards, who is 7 foot 7 foot as well. And you're telling me these guys can't get rebounds? Like we can't be higher than 25. And of course, the defense, I think we were I don't even want to say we anymore. The Suns were 23rd, I think, in defense, or at least points allowed defensively. So it's almost like you got a group of players who are all good to play with one jersey on them. It's like they're not a team, you know. If you ever play pickup ball, you always see that one guy out there that's hitting from everywhere, just looks good out there as he's warming up, doing everything that he can. Then you're like, okay, hey, we want you on our team, man. We be with our 5 up, And then you get out there and play. He gets the ball. He don't know how to play together. It's ball hog, a ball killer, really. And it's just like, okay, like where was the warm ups at? I feel like that's what happened with this team. They went out to the rec center and seen all these guys that were playing well and said, okay, let's all be on this team. Now they're all ball dominant and don't know how to play together. It's like ISO over here. Nothing's a flow. And if one person's having a good game, it's the other person mad. It's like it's drama is almost what it seems like. So here's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping that these guys' crew, their team, if you'll say individual team, KD's guys comes up to him and says, hey, listen, you're X year. This is at the end here of what we're doing. We've got to change the script basically for us. We need a reset with whatever team you want to go to and really focus in on trying to be a team player and see what we can change the narrative moving forward. And then I think Booker's group needs to do the same thing. Hey, listen, either get with KD and we're wanting to do this, or we need to go elsewhere. So we're still young at that age where we're looking to go to a team to win the rings and have a dynasty of a caliber with that as a young player. Bill, like KD said, retire might be a little bit extreme, but I felt like Bill was going to come in and be that third factor. I won't say X factor, but the third person with the ball, but more committed to defense. Being that guy, hey, okay, you all do your all things on offense. I need to step up to that role and play defense and be locked in and then be a 3-and-D basically. And it didn't ever seem like it happened. So I'm hoping the Suns can run this back, and there's been posts and stuff that maybe KD is wanting to do it. I'm afraid for KD's career, if he asks to be traded, it's still going to be the same thing because everyone has to give up a lot to get KD, and then there's not the bench to follow. And then there's everything else that just hurts when KD is traded. We've talked about this numerous times. Different, though. You don't think – I mean, you think so? What's different about it?
I don't think it'll be 3-4 first-round picks. I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, I hope you're right. Because
of the injuries –
mm-hmm.
You have the ankle towards the end of the season. Wasn't even able to play. They did lost 8 games in a row, and route to getting eliminated. KD didn't play in those games, so it's just. I think a trade will probably be like 2 picks, second round picks. I really thought in both stops post Golden State he would bring like the championship DNA from what he established in Golden State, try to apply that to the new destinations. But We haven't seen it. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen it yet. So
Mhm.
this next stop is crucial. It's crucial. I don't think it's going to be in Phoenix. I believe he'll go to a new team. And Dallas is intriguing. Dallas, to me, trying to make it right with KD. I mean Kyrie. With AD, it's just three players with still a lot of injury concerns. You're just adding another player with a lot of injury concerns, but together, whoa, you know, if that's able to be assembled and get right, that's insane. KD and AD. So
There's a lot of
probably gonna
storylines there.
probably gonna have to give up Lively. Definitely gonna ask for
Mm.
Lively. And I'm gonna ask for Gafford because of the age gap.
Mhm.
Christie pieces. I mean, he's an all timer and still averaging 27 on an efficient clip. So because of that, yeah, you're gonna lose some things. But for a team like Dallas, I feel like it makes the most sense because it aligns with their timeline. The two best players are over 30, and KD's still playing at a high level post 35. So I think the Mavericks make more sense than the Rockets, and
Yeah.
that to me, I see that'll be the next stop. I believe he'll be a Dallas Maverick.
I would love that for the fact of all the storylines you got. KD with Kyrie in Dallas, KD and AD trying to win their championships without Steph and LeBron with the players. And then you have KD and Clay reuniting to see if they can win one without Steph as well. Just a bunch of storylines for everyone. I think that would be great. And I think that would be one of those ways that it would actually change. Okay, I know I want to play for me, but at the same time, I'm playing for all you guys too, for y'all's history that we're trying to make happen too. So I love that idea. And that would be a great way that franchises, front office, save their jobs, if they can make that happen.
Yeah, definitely. It'll definitely help. Definitely help. It'll soften the blow, but you still need that championship. Now that definitely helps with getting the championship for sure, and it helps that path. But again, like I said, for KD and then for the Mavs, I think it makes sense to me. They kind of need each other, and if they're able to assemble, I know again they're going to probably lose a couple pieces here, a couple wing players. But for someone like Nico Harrison, I mean, he already made one of the biggest moves in NBA history. So at this point, anything else is second place. But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean it has to be bad or terrible. It could be something that could lead and help you going forward and makes sense. I'm more focused about what they're going to do with Booker.
Yes.
I just looked at
or what Booker wants.
I looked at the timeline of the Suns, and you look at 2020, they go 8-0 in the bubble. Booker hits that big shot against the Clippers, that an iconic meme. He's on the floor after the game winner, laid back. And then you say, yeah, this team might do something. They might start to make some noise based on how they played in the play-in. And that's what they did. They started to play well. They had a great season. Went to the finals, bring in Chris Paul. They go to the finals. They have success. Then they win 64 games, losing the second round to Dallas. Then you get rid of Chris Paul, then you make this trade, make this move for Kevin Durant. I think they probably should have stuck with Chris Paul and Aiden maybe one more year, tried to figure it out. Now Aiden was definitely getting cooked by Jokic in that series, and when they lost to the Nuggets in 6. But what they did, they were never able to replace him with anybody good. They got Nurkic. Nurkic is he's not a starter in today's NBA. He doesn't do enough as a starter, as a starting center. He's not a great defender, not a great rebounder. He doesn't space the floor at an efficient clip. So he couldn't be out there. And that was your starting center for the last 2 years. That's not good enough. You need a defensive minded guy next to KD, Booker, and Beal. You need someone that can block shots, run the floor, have really good hands, be able to catch the basketball and be able to dunk and finish at a high clip. That's what you were supposed to get after losing Aiden, not Nurkic. Like so, again, I guess James Jones, man, just it's not looking great for this. Not looking great for that guy.
But
Never got a point
I just
guard.
want to say this.
Never got a point guard either. You got rid of Chris Paul. They got rid of two players that helped them go to the finals, right? Chris Paul and Aiden, two important pieces, but their replacements for those two important pieces were terrible, and this is why. And this is one of the key reasons why they lost. They never were able to replace Chris Paul, and never were able to replace Aiden.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is when you say just even then when you said the names, Chris Paul, Booker, and Ayton, you instantly can visualize what's going on, pick and roll, popping over here, setups. You see a team already developed by saying those names back with that, and then you have KD and Bill on the team, and you don't see any flow of what you could do schematically with that. So, yeah, I think Chris Paul was a huge loss for them when he went to the Warriors. Of course, it wasn't that great, but still, what Chris Paul does as a point guard, the general on the court, the coach on the court, sets everyone up, put the ball exactly where Aiden needed to score because he's not a back down, do moves or anything. It's, hey, let me set the pick, get here. Okay, I caught it, I'm shooting. And Chris Paul would set him up. That alone puts Booker in isolation on the weak side there, do your pick and roll, kick it over there. Okay, now you go to work. It was working. And now you bring in KD and that flow stops and it becomes individuals or ISOs constantly. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't have went for KD. I'm just saying that they losing Chris Paul, I think, hurt more than what they thought getting KD would help with the team that they had there. And it happened. Live and learn. You've got to have a general on the court.
You live and learn. You live and learn for sure, man. Just a lot of dysfunction. They got rid of Robert Sarver. That was supposed to really solve everything, right? Because he was such a, this is a legend. Such a terrible owner, and all the stories and things that have come out about him. So so much that he had to get rid of the team. That's how bad he was. And managed to bring in new life, but right now it's not looking great. So he really has to figure out like what am I going to do here? This is not like the business you ran that helped you become a billionaire to buy the team. This is basketball. So a lot of questions, and we're going to get some answers.
Yeah, we've talked numerous times about we can't wait 20 years from now when we have the 30 for 30 of OKC, what might have been. But, you could make that into a series of OKC of that, but then also KD, what might have been. You go to the Warriors and you win one, but you won it out. And then you go to Brooklyn where you thought you could put together with your best friend and you won it out. And then you went to the Suns and just never could do it. So it's almost like what we could have had with a KD career, 30 for 30. But let's keep on moving. We got a new topic here. Let me get rid of the Phoenix. We've gone on to the 2025 Basketball Hall of Fame inductees have been announced. I have not seen this, so I'm excited to see who it is. Who we're going to have for the first year ballots that gets in. You got the list, I'm assuming. Let me blow up my screen so when you share it here, I can see it.
Yeah, we have the list here.
I'm finally starting to get my beard back, CJ. I blew the screen up. So, man, that looks good.
See, so first off, we're starting off with Melo, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, member of the All-75 team. Carmelo Anthony, man. Hall of Famer, no question. It's a lot. National champion with Syracuse.
Yep.
All-time leading scorer in Team USA basketball.
And has still played more games than Joel Embiid has right now since Embiid entered the league. Have you seen that graphic?
It's wild. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's a crazy graphic.
So Melo's not played since 2022, I think, and he still has played more games since 2019. So, yeah, even the healthy part that he had in his career, I mean, let's be honest, I wasn't ever a fan of him as far as liking him, but anyone that could get a shot off and do the movements that he did in such a small area, like he would do a one dribble pull up and it'd probably go maybe 2 feet and have the separation that he needed. I mean, he was a triple threat king, in my opinion, for a big man or a bigger size guard. So yeah, I think he's instant Hall of Famer here. I'm gonna ask you this. I know you're a Knick fan, but which Melo version did you like best? Nuggets or New York?
Yeah, which one I like best? I was a fan of just his entire career. I mean, I feel like because when he got drafted in 2003, I was what, like 9 years old, so I was very young,
Oh
and
wow.
seeing LeBron, see all those guys come out of LeBron come out of high school, Melo
Mhm.
win the national championship. So it was like Denver Melo. You grow up through
Yep.
your middle school days going into high school, and these guys are some of they're 24, 25 years old, some of the premier players in the league. The moments in New York when he was a Knick, definitely it was different because it was here in my city. So those
Mhm.
memories you definitely that stuff you remember. That game against the Sunday night game, a Saturday night game against the Bulls when they hit like three threes in a row in the right hash. Everybody remembers that game. Game against the Bobcats, 62. It's but Denver Melo was also special too. I mean, it was him and AI. They had some really good teams with JR and Nene,
Lawson,
Ty Lawson. Um, they had,
Fareed.
I think that was after Melo. Yeah,
Was it?
Lawson and Fareed came a little bit after Melo. Um,
Okay.
but that's when I had Chauncey Billups, AI, Andre Miller.
Miller. That's what I was
Really,
thinking.
really good, really good team. Unfortunately, Kenyon Martin, Marcus
There
Camby.
we go.
Um, they just didn't get along with George Karl. That's really what you hear all the players from that team when they talk about why didn't it last longer, why didn't it work? It's because they just had issues with George Karl. That team was that team was stacked. They went up against the Lakers in '09 in the Western Conference Finals. That's the furthest he's been as a player in the NBA in the Western Conference Finals. So with the Nuggets, so I believe they need to retire. The Nuggets should retire Melo's number because before Jokic became Jokic, Melo was already should have already had his jersey retired by the
Mhm.
Nuggets based on what he had already accomplished in that uniform, what he did for that city, brought all different types of culture and changed that city differently during his time there. People from New York and other different places of the country watching
Mhm.
Nuggets games, staying up to watch the Nuggets play. That wasn't happening before he got there.
Yeah.
So he should definitely get his
Forgot.
jersey retired.
I
Yeah,
looked at the roster in '05 just because I forgot someone, but Earl Boykins used to love that, and then Nene as well.
And then hello,
I don't know
yeah,
if you said Marcus Camby or not, but he was on there as well.
yeah.
And then Andre Miller, I think you said that.
Team was stacked. Team was stacked. He had some really good players on with the Nuggets during that time. So you remember those names. Why? Because everybody was watching Melo.
Well,
The battles
absolutely.
he had with LeBron, with Kobe.
And those
Yeah,
baby blue jerseys too.
yeah. Those were the good days. Yeah, those are the fight. They should bring those back. They should bring
Yes.
those back. They should bring those back just for like um, a Friday night or something like that. But Melo's 15 should be retired. Both just retire 15 twice. What's wrong with that? Wow. That to me, that should be a blessing. Like you got two of the greatest players in your franchise history wore the same number. That's how you should look at it. Don't look at it as like, oh, he should have get his jersey retired because Jokic ended up. No, that's the wrong. That's literally the
Yeah.
worst way to look at it if you're an organization. And put that 15 up there, bro. Stop playing around. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Now for the Knicks, you can make an argument for the same thing. Now did he get to the conference finals with the Knicks? No, but the front office was terrible. We could. That's a whole nother discussion. But just it wasn't he didn't have a great front office. He didn't have Leon Rose like Brunson has right now. Leon Rose was an agent, ironically, during that time, but he wasn't running basketball operations for the Knicks. So Phil Jackson, he never really wanted to run the Knicks. He wanted to go back to the Lakers and finish it out with Kobe one more time. That's what he wanted to do. He just used the Knicks' leverage. Dolan gave him a whole bunch of bread because he was a good role player here when he won the chip in the '70s. Golf clap. But we saw like how that worked out. It was terrible. It was terrible. He never wanted to be here. So that Melo's prime was hindered because of bad front office. The bad front office in New York. It's just a fact. They didn't have Pat Riley and Mickey Harrison now. He could have went there, but he chose a different route, and that's the decision that he made. So that's what he's living. So he's cool with. Like I said, he had a great career, phenomenal career, and he said one of the greatest small forwards of all time, one of the greatest scorers of all time, top 10 all time in scoring when he retired. It's a lock. I mean, it was a lock. First ballot. It was easy.
I agree 100%. There's nothing I can say different with you.
Next inductee. Another one. Another lock. Dwight Howard.
I don't know about this one. No, I'm playing, guys. Calm down, everyone. Has the ring changed? I mean, single-handedly carry Orlando to the finals. I mean, he is the only – he's the only thing that we've had close to a Shaq since Shaq, in my opinion. Just the dominance that he had down low, the presence. Now, he didn't have the moves offensively as far as what Shaq would do, but defensively, the size, the domination he had, shot blocking. I don't know why he didn't get this is one of my things I'll always remember about him. Dunk contest, he rolled out, I think, a 12 or 14-foot goal and dunked on it and still didn't get 50 on it. I hated that. But, just the defensive presence, what they did again in Orlando, phenomenal. Of course, we know he got the ring with the Lakers just recently. So, yeah, I think it's a lock for him as well.
This is a lock. There was a time that Dwight Howard was a top 5 player in the league, and it wasn't even it was no debate. He was literally a top 5 player in the league. It was Kobe, LeBron, Dwight Howard, like Chris Paul. Like that was really Chris Paul, Wade was in there, Duncan. So he was a problem. He was a problem, and with the Magic, they had that 2009 team where they went to the finals. Jameer Nelson got hurt. Skip to Malou had to play a lot of that playoff run. Situation got tricky there towards the end there when Jameer came back, wasn't 100%. Thought Rafer should have played a little bit more because he helped get them there in the playoffs. But they have Rashad Lewis, Hedo Turkoglu, Courtney Lee, Michael Petrus, Stan Van Gundy coaching. So it was great times. They defeated the Cavs when the Cavs went 66-16 in the second round. Packed them up that year. I thought we were supposed to see LeBron versus Kobe in the finals. They played spoiler. That was the year we were supposed to see Brown versus Kobe. And the Magic said, we're better than this team, even though they have LeBron. And they got it done. Goes to the Lakers. First time doesn't work out. Goes to the Lakers the second time, wins a championship. You can't write that any better. 3-time defensive player of the year, and you actually say, yeah, Glea, you remember the stops and the plays that he made on defense. Like I said, we don't really remember that with Gobert at all. Like Dwight Howard was the best defensive player in the league and leading his team to the finals. Mm-hmm. So when like I can say, Gobert's impact is great. Even when I saw yesterday when they was playing the Grizzlies, it's great. But like this dude was defensive player of the year and taking his team to the finals. I mean, it was different. It was just a different level. And then the athletic ability. The free throws, wasn't it? The free throws just like Shaq, very similar to Shaq. Shaq just scored more. He did more, yeah. And I think it's great that they kind of hashed their beef. Dwight said he wanted Shaq to walk him to the ceremony or something like that. I don't know. So and Shaq said he'll do it. So that's cool. That's cool that they that they settled because it's really just a sensitive beef over a Superman name and logo. That's really what it's all about.
Yep.
It's really weird. They are too tall to be beefing. Y'all too tall to really be beefing over a logo that y'all don't even own for real. You know what I mean? But that's a different discussion. You don't even own that logo. You have zero IP on it. But yeah. So I'm glad that was hashed out, and they're both Hall of Famers now. They're on the team. They're teammates now, which is great. And yeah, a lock, easily a lock on the cover. What cover was that? Was that Live 10? It was on the cover of NBA Live 2010. Generational.
Oh yeah.
All right, next inductee here, Billy Donovan. Yeah, before he got to, Michael, you can speak to this a little bit more.
Yeah. Because I think he's a lock, honestly, because Rick Pitino, who was one of the greatest coaches ever to coach at Kentucky, when he was at Providence, he actually has a point guard movie out, and I would watch it to learn things about point guard. And guess who his point guard player that he had running the moves and showing the display? It was Billy Donovan. So Donovan was running the team there on the court for Rick Pitino. And, of course, then he goes on to be an assistant coach at Kentucky with Pitino, of course. And then he goes over to Florida, I want to say the only time that Florida had won back-to-back championships with Al Horford, of course, still in the league, Joakim Noah and others on that team. Probably one of the most memorable SEC teams outside of Kentucky that they've ever been, honestly. Couldn't stand Joakim Noah. Yes, Corey Brewer. That's the other one for sure. So I think just because of what he's done as a college player and college coach, I think he's inducted for that. Of course, we've had him at OKC for years. What could have been, and then of course now he's at Chicago Bulls. Really bringing them back some. I mean, it's at least nice to see what's developing now after the Levine and DeRozan era. Now where we see a future going on. White's playing great, honestly. So yeah, I think he gets inducted as a coach for what he's done with the back-to-back rings in college by himself. I wish he could have got one in OKC, but just didn't happen there.
Yeah, again, this is a great class. This is probably one of the best classes in maybe ever, really. That was Billy Donovan. That team, yeah, like you talked about with Horford and Noah, watching the Corey Brewer, watching those players win the Natty back-to-back seasons, and then learning about what he did in Kentucky later on as I got older. Going to OKC, I was like, hey, he's coming from Florida. They went to the finals with Scott Brooks, and they go to the Western Conference Finals up 3-1. You know what happened? We're having a different conversation if they 4-1 the 73-9 Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. We were one win away from that, but we ultimately know what occurred. But nonetheless, like I said, I think they're doing a really good job right now. Different type of team. He's coached two different Chicago Bulls teams. One with DeRozan, Levine, Lonzo, and now here with Kobe White, Josh Giddey, Matas Buzelis, and Patrick Williams. Some of these other players that they have. I mean, that's a really special backcourt with Giddey and White. They complement each other well. Josh Giddey's been going. He's special. He was top 6 pick for a reason. He's special, and his IQ is off the charts. And you have a point guard. Michael just said he learned about the point guard position watching Billy Donovan do the drills. And Josh Giddey's a great playmaker at 6'8". Your head coach is all-time point guard. It's gonna be a great relationship there. So still there with the Bulls. I think he'll be there for a little while too, especially from what we've seen so far from those two players. He definitely plays a big part in that in their development, because a lot of people did not see them turning out into this and playing this way.
Yep.
People already kind of had their mind made up on what both players would be. So him giving White and Giddey the confidence to play and then still impact winning. I think we'll keep him in Chicago a little bit longer. So this is an easy one as well, no question.
Yep. I think we were 10 days away last year, 10 days away from Billy Donovan being the Kentucky's next college head coach. There was, of course, you guys know I do Cats Chat as well, but there was rumors going around that no conversation was going on because they couldn't, but the NBA still was going on after Calipari had left for Arkansas. And there was rumors floating around that Donovan was very interested in the job, but he couldn't have any communication because the Bulls were still playing. So I honestly think if the season would have ended and he had been there and we were still looking, I think he would have been at Kentucky right now.
Wow.
I'm thankful with Mark Pope, but there was a lot of noise going around that possibly could be the next one. Would have been nice.
That would have been great. We got Danny Crawford, referee, 2,000 regular season games, 30 NBA finals. Yeah, so I mean, definitely top of the line when it comes to officiating in the NBA. Definitely seen him for years.
And that's what I was about to say. It's one of the recognizable faces as a referee. You know, like who knows referees, but this is one face that when you see it, you know who he is.
Absolutely. So, congratulations to him. Definitely deserves to be there. Sue Bird, legend, Seattle Storm, from UConn. I mean, this is easy. One of the best point guards in basketball history. What she did in the W, what she did in Connecticut. It's just been on a different level.
Four WNBA champions. Absolutely.
5-time Olympic gold medalist, all-stars.
You can't talk about the WNBA history without talking about Sue Bird in that conversation. Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird, Taurasi. I mean, that's Jackson, Candace Parker. Like, those are the women that are, I guess, honestly, if you have like a Mount Rushmore, she would have to be on that Mount Rushmore for women's WNBA.
Yeah, that's a great discussion. There's a lot of candidates for that Mount Rushmore for sure. She would definitely be in that and at the top for sure in terms of who would make the list. And,
you're hesitant on that, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of legends. A lot of everybody's last 30 years or so since we've been watching the W. She's definitely up there for sure. But we got another inductee who she may not have played as long as Sue Bird, but what she was able to accomplish. Maya Moore. I mean, she was different too.
Completely.
This was kind of my time, right? This is when I was in high school watching her play at Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was a problem, a straight bucket. She could get to her spots. Elite player. One of the best players I've seen. She just walked away from the game. She decided to walk away from the game, but 4-time champion. Just definitely one of the best players. To me, she's up there. She's up there with those names, despite having a short.
Absolutely. I think so too, because even stepping away, the reason whatever it was that we know some of the stories there, I would say that she's probably one of the most storylined person from the WNBA. I say one of, as far as what she could do, and I won't say. I'm not trying to sound disrespectful at all, but I think more coming in made it more of seeing women as individual talent as well. To me, the one-on-ones, the isolations really blossomed more during her era of what we can see going on. She was the starter of that. Yeah, Sue Bird did great things, great passer, but it's still that team effort. Maya Moore, when she played, it stood out that, hey, she was that girl on that team. And I feel like deservingly so on this induction.
Yeah, she had that Jordan deal.
Yes.
Jordan even recognized, like Jordan saw it. Everybody saw it.
Yeah.
Like Juju Watkins, her game is very similar to
Mhm.
Maya Moore. Like when I watch her play, I definitely see some Maya Moore in her game. But yeah, elite class. Let's see what we got here next. Another legend, Sylvia Fowles, 8-time All-Star, 2-time champion, 4-time defensive player. It's just like this is the era for me is like when you're watching up, growing up, watching the game, falling in love with the game of basketball, and watching
Mhm.
all these players that are getting inducted now. Now it makes you just think about where you were when they were playing at their time,
Mhm.
and what she did in Minnesota with Maya with Maya Moore as
Yeah.
well. So I mean, they were a dangerous duo, and uh, congratulations to her as Files as well. Beast.
100%. Uh, Multiple MVPs, right? I think she had one, but it said 4 MVPs, wasn't it?
Champion, 4-time champion.
Champion. Okay. I feel like she won MVP one year, didn't she?
Let's see. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
4-time defensive player of the year. Mickey Arison, owner of the Miami Heat. I think a lot of people, everybody talks about Pat Riley, but this is the guy that hired Pat Riley. So, um, talk on this team, expansion team. I think they were established in '88,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and I would say one of the most successful expansion teams ever. Think about the legends and Hall of Famers that have worn that uniform: Hardaway, Mourning, Wade,
Morning.
Shaq, LeBron,
Mashburn.
Jamal. Jamal Mashburn definitely up there too. Chris Bosh, Antoine Walker, Gary Payton, Jason Williams.
Tyler
True legend,
Hero. Bam.
true legends, up and coming guys like Hero and Bam, Jimmy Butler. So true
Yes.
legends have really worn a Heat uniform, and this is not like the Lakers. It's an expansion team. So
Yep.
gotta give this guy a lot of credit. Gotta give this guy a lot of credit. And he made the moves. He cut the checks. He did. He's the one figuring out all the things money side. It's his money. He's the top investor, and he's done a great job. He's done a phenomenal
Yep.
job. 3 championships, multiple appearances. Definitely one of the
Retired
most.
Jordan's jersey in there.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I don't know what Pat Riley was. I don't know what Pat Riley was doing, man. That day, that was a weird one. Like I get it, farewell season, but retire his jersey was kind of insane.
Yeah. A little odd,
Yeah,
but
very odd.
respectful, I guess. This really takes me back to, I want to say maybe probably our first year ever doing a podcast, guys. We've been doing this probably 3 years now. We had a different show or a name before then. But when we were talking about the top 5 players from Miami, as far as fan favorite top 5s, and I was like, Miami has had some very historic players, legendary players, and just like you said, an expansion team that is probably one of the better, if not best, teams that's outside the Celtics, being name recognized out there. And it's in Miami where everyone loves to be, but not so much about the games. It's you can go outside at the beach when the game's going on, sadly. But so yeah,
Funny you
I
mentioned
think.
Miami. Yeah.
What we got? Oh, I got to blow it up here so I can see.
Yeah, this was
Oh
the
wait,
Olympic. This was the season where
yes.
allegedly they had discussions about teaming up. So,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Okay, I'm with you here.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, the the infamous Olympic run here in 28. What they call that?
Redeem team.
Redeem team.
The redeem team. This team, man, they had Chris Paul, Jason Kidd, Michael Redd, Chris Bosh. I think it was Dwight there.
I think so.
I know he was on that 12 team. But they just had the Netflix special on this team.
Yeah.
Melo, LeBron, obviously. Coach K.
Was Vince Carter on that, or my way?
This is when we had lost to Argentina in 2004, and Kobe didn't play in that Olympics because the situation that was happening during that time, and there was real discussions that he might not play for the Team USA, and he got the invite. Coach K hit him up, and the rest is history. Those games, that run they went on, when they went up against Argentina, we got our lick back. Played Spain, played China, went up against Yao Ming, China, going up against them
in Beijing.
Exactly, in Beijing. The iconic moment of Kobe shushing the crowd after knocking down a 3 against Spain,
running through Paul Gasol.
Wade was on a crazy run. He went bald. I think he had just signed with Jordan or something like that, or had the Converse deal. Something one of the two. And he was playing out of his mind, man. And he had ultimately the year that going into that season had a career year. Defensively, offensively, this is one of the best teams. Honestly, I thought they'd be in already. I was shocked when I saw it. I thought this was already something that they locked in. But nonetheless, what a fantastic team, man. This team brought a lot of great memories for me in the summer of basketball.
Oh yeah. The roster: Carlos Boozer, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, Chris Paul, Deron Williams, Dwight Howard, Wade Kidd, Bryant James, Michael Reed, and you got to have one Kentucky guy, Tayshaun Prince.
Team was stacked. That team is stacked. D. Will, Chris Paul, and Jason Kidd. Well, man, yeah, that's the time. That's the time when D. Will was going crazy in Utah. Yep. He had that one push cross. That D. Will push cross.
Yep. It's so nasty. He broke his own ankles.
Him and Boozer, they were going crazy in Utah for a few seasons. That was the time. Now I thought Gilbert Arenas should have been on this team because remember this is Hibachi Agent Zero, but I don't like the politics of Team USA and the Nike, and we even saw that with Jaylen Brown this summer as well. But since Gilbert, he signed with Adidas, and it was very tricky back then. It's still tricky to this day, clearly, when you just monopolize the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, just Hall of Famers from 1 to 13, 12. So this is an incredible team. I see this team all the time on 2K on the Play Now joint. So this is stack squad. Would you have this team or the Dream Team?
We're not doing that.
I'm doing that. I'm going with the Redeem Team. I'm going Redeem Team easily. You sure all those names I just named off, bro?
Yes, but I mean Magic, Michael, Reggie.
Nope, Reggie was not on that team.
Bird was on it. Who else was there?
Stockton, Malone,
Ewing,
David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Christian Laettner.
Okay, never mind. I'm going 2018, 28.
You're going 2008?
Yep. Give me this team. Laettner. I can't have him on there. Wow. Still hate 92 season.
Yeah. This team to me is the greatest Olympic team ever. All right.
One of the most fun team to watch for sure.
Easily. Shaq should have been on that 92 team. Speaking of
course, CJ's reading their next topic we got going on here, so we'll go ahead and bring that up. We were talking about comparing the eras last week, and of course, we're talking about the USA Olympic teams there as well. Which one's the best one? And here's a debate going on. A discussion going on. Shaq versus today's NBA centers.
Yeah, so this is from Run It Back, the FanDuel show with Michelle Beadle, Chandler Parsons, Lou Williams on the show. I guess sometimes they have Danny Green. I saw DeMarcus Cousins on the show a couple times as well. So they dropped some content. Shout out to them.
On one. I don't know what's going on in his life, but he's been on something. So he said if he played against Wemby and Chet, he would have made both of them quit. Mm-hmm. Are you buying that?
Well, Wemby does not seem like a kid that would ever quit on anything. Nope. But I understand when I'm recently retired. When you're one of those retired guys, I feel like Shaq is just one of those guys. He always has to prove or show or feel like people forget. So it's like, yo, you're going to respect me. I was one of those guys. So I feel like he always has to kind of show and tell, always prove that, if I played today, because people say, if you played today, this guy would dog, or Jokic is a more skilled player than you, or this person you wouldn't be able to guard. And yes, he would have bullied these guys. He would have been able to do that on the offensive end of the floor. But on the defensive end of the floor, Shaq would have had problems guarding these guys. There's no way he's stepping out. He was not even comfortable leaving the paint. To guard them on the perimeter, to guard them on a lone spot, and, you can't teach 7'4". These kids are 7'3", 7'4". Shaq, you're not blocking those shots, those jump shots. And they would have given him a lot of hell on that floor. But on the offensive end of the floor for Shaq, yes, he could have been playing bully ball, but it's no different than Joel. We've seen what Joel did to Wemby his rookie year. So it's kind of similar to that. But Wemby's learned from that. He ain't quit against Joel. And Shaq and Joel aren't that much different in size when it came to playing. So if he's not quitting against Joel, he's not quitting against Shaq. Chet, I don't know how much he's played. I haven't seen him, match up with those guys in the post like that. But he's not a kid that's going to back down either. And it's at offensive end of the floor. You're going to have your hands full guarding these two guys. So, but I understand Shaq feels, these older generation guys feel disrespected sometimes when the conversation comes up that these kids can probably, they have more skilled. Yes, maybe so. They can outdo maybe. But yeah, Shaq was the most dominant. And I think he just likes to reiterate that by throwing out these wild examples. So, hey, I said he was one of those guys that could bully ball anybody in the paint, but he would have had some troubles guarding them on the other end of the floor.
So Shaq.
All right, so we know that stemmed from Shaq said that we're just going to go to Shaq's quote and what he said in regards to that.
The DNA of the league because you're going to have to get bigs to match them.
No. And I hate putting myself forward in time, but I will make both of them quit.
Do you think Chet and Wemby will slowly change the DNA of the league because you're going to have to get bigs to match them?
No. And I hate putting myself forward in time, but I will make both of them quit.
You'd make Wemby quit?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to back his elbow right in his mouth. You know what he's going to do all night? Shoot them three. And if you miss, I'm going to run right by you and fucking post, and you're going to be screaming, yeah, 3 seconds, I'm going to make them quit. To me, any guy that's 7'4", 7'5", that shoots boundary jumpers, they don't want that funk. Because if I'm 7'4", I'm trying to make everything easy. You guard me, you 5, I'm not shooting a 3. I'm taking you a little time. But you want to shoot threes and do all that? Okay. I will make all of them quit, and they know it.
But having bigs that can shoot on the perimeter, that's not an advantage to a team to have that as an added weapon.
Yeah, but you got to shoot a high percentage. Like, ain't no big shooting above 50%.
Jokic is 43% from 3 this year.
That's pretty good.
Top 5 in the NBA.
But you know what I'm gonna be down there? 65, 70. If you piss me off, 75, 80.
You throw that elbow early on.
Oh, yeah. The first play of the game, I'm trying to knock your teeth out your mouth because I know you're not gonna fight.
What's your thoughts, brother?
I love Shaq. That's all I'm saying. And I mean, of course, I'm born in '86. I'm an old guy. Just turned 39, so I watched Shaq play a lot, and just the dominance he had, the dunk that he had where he threw old boy down and just dunked over him, raised the knees up, and then just landed and pushed him down. So, oops, Shaq was mobile too. We talked about this numerous times on here. If Shaq played today, he had some handles, he had some skills too at his size. So I don't know really about him coming out like they're saying he camped in the lane. Yes, he did that towards the end a lot. His whole career, let's just be honest. But if he played in today's game, I do think he could come out there and challenge Wemby. I won't say all the way at the three, but I think he's going to come out free throw line, maybe a little more extended. And if Wemby tries to go around him, and he's going to put that little forearm, the handshake, if you will, and not give him the lane and push him all the way to basically the bench, really. You're not going to go around Shaq on a dribble. I just don't think it's happening. Yes, you have the speed. Yes, you have the talent, but he's going to have that offhand guiding you straight to the sideline instead of the baseline where you're trying to score on him, just because of the physicality he is. Plus, the beating that you're going to take on the defensive side. You're right. He's right. You're not going to want to get physical with him. Let's be honest. There's never been anyone that really tried to be physical with Shaq and win. So,
Ben Wallace.
One. So, that's my thing. So, there's not been too many. And Ben Wallace and Wemby, physicality-wise, Ben Wallace is much more physical. So, I actually think he's very underrated too, or doesn't get the gratification that he deserves on what he did for the NBA too. Just straight defense. He was the Rodman without the bad attitude. Rebounds, go do your thing. I block shots. Hey, I don't care about offense. Just I know my role and I'm going to excel at it. But anyways, so yeah, my thoughts are I agree everything Shaq says, man. What he said, he backed up when he played like that. So until I can see it happen, which I can't believe anything else. Shaq in today's centers would dominate on the post, but we'll never know how he would actually transition in a era right now with bigs as far as defensive wise. But I don't see him driving by him.
Well, yeah, one of the things he said, a lot of these centers, they want to shoot threes. You're 7'3", 7'4". That means you don't want that funk. Like you don't want to be in the paint and be physical. You rather step out way 24 feet away from the paint when you're 7'3", 7'4". Sounds crazy to me. It really does sound crazy because we're talking about height, talking about a 10-foot rim. You're 7'3". When you want to be closer to the paint, wouldn't those be easier shots for you? Now, again, I'm not saying don't shoot at all. Spacing does matter, especially at the 5 spot, because of what it can create and bring the center out of that paint. And now your teammates, and you have teammates that can cut. You can create a lot of different sets and actions off of that. So I'm not saying never shoot, but for a center, primarily, the majority of your points should be definitely closer to the rim because you're the tallest player on the team. 10
feet, man.
Yeah, definitely. So watching the next game on Christmas Day against the Spurs, watching Wembanyama live in the flesh. Yeah, he took 16 threes in that game. I was like, yo, and he had 42. Now just imagine if he cut those threes in half and those were dunks. Imagine if it was just eight 3-point attempts and now he's 6 for 8 or 7 of 9 in twos.
I will say this.
And then they got 6.
I tried to work the numbers once, and as long as you're shooting over 35% from threes in a 50-shot comparison, you actually are better out shooting threes. So really, if he's shooting 35% or more, he's going to be scoring more points, even with the twos.
So yeah, okay, but ultimately I look at it as Shaq would be doing the same stuff that Jokic is doing.
Yes.
The same. It would look differently. The way they would score would look differently, but the stat lines would be exactly the same. Because Shaq was a really good passer from the post. Rick Fox, Derek Fisher, Robert Horry. I mean, those guys will tell you, I guess, right? I mean, they won championships with Shaq off of the double teams that Shaq created for them to be wide open. Like, who was giving them the ball? Kobe and Shaq. And
even the lobs to Kobe.
Everything. So it would be he'd put up the same numbers as Jokic. It would just look differently, I believe. It would be much more physical, and then to where we'd have conversations about the centers, like what's up? They need to get stronger.
Yep.
So he would change the way the opposing centers would, attack their off season. Like I need to put some muscle on to stop this guy. This guy is stopping me from getting the championship, so I need to do things to offset that.
Yeah.
That's a different type of conversation. So would they bring Shaq out in the pick and roll, put him on the island? Luka on Shaq on the island. Yeah, I mean, of course, Shaq's not gonna have the lateral quickness to keep up with Luka. Okay, but if you throw that the rock to Shaq in the post with Luka on him on a switch, since everybody switches now in today's NBA and they don't want to fight over the screen. You got Shaq on. Now you got Shaq on Luka in the post. What's going to happen there? That's an automatic. He's going to have to foul him, right? It's an automatic foul, or it's a dunk. Like so,
right?
Like Danny Green made some good points, and the quitting thing. That's just trash talk. That's all it is. I'm not really. These people on X, they're going to take it to heart and really get all up in arms about it. It's just trash talk. I mean, that's all it is. It's just like, obviously those guys want to quit, but would they be in foul trouble to the point where they wouldn't be able to dominate as much as they would? Because if Shaq's getting 2-3 dunks in the first couple minutes of the game and you got a foul, or you got 2 fouls, now you're out the game. Now you're completely changing how you play that night. Can they do the same thing to him on the other end? Yeah. Doing step back threes, I'm living with that. If you're 7'4" doing a step back three, I'm living with that, bro. If you're not Dirk, I'm living with it.
Even if you green light one of them, like I'm still gonna let you shoot those threes, right?
Like I said, Dirk is the only Dirk and Jokic are the only 7-footers where I would be worried about them doing step back threes. Any other big, that's good. That includes Cat as well. I'm not, especially in the offs, I'm not worried about that. So 70% in the paint, the and ones, the passing, his impact, he would do the same exact thing that Jokic is doing. Now, I think he was with Orlando. That's probably the type of build he'd have to be at in today's NBA. He probably couldn't be or that 01 season with the Lakers. That's probably the ideal size, because even in 01 he was still agile and moving around. There's nobody's stopping that, right? Nobody's stopping that. So it would be barbecue chicken for sure. I mean, anybody that thinks otherwise is crazy.
Oh, absolutely. I'm ready for someone to make the game and put them with their stats, whatever, and have the simulation going on so we can actually have, what would happen statistically.
What would happen? Hey, we could try to do that in the game. You could do a blacktop, Shaq versus Jokic in a blacktop, game to 21. I might do that one of these days. Just throw it on YouTube.
Like you playing as them, or just let it be computer versus computer?
Yeah, probably just computer, just to see,
Okay.
Just to see.
And then do one Shaq versus Wemby.
The Shaq versus Wemby, yeah. And then we'll definitely see like what the results would be. Let's do that.
I think it'd actually be pretty cool. I know we're on this subject at the moment, but I guess the topic will say it. I was watching a video today. This guy was doing a short for YouTube, and he actually called it Moves Monday. So he was teaching how to do a move with the controllers. Apparently, he does it every Monday. I was like, this is interesting. CJ should be doing this.
Moves Monday, okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm still working on my moves, so I don't know if I could be a teacher yet, but
Listen, just by doing
send me the link.
The fake pass. All right, well.
Oh, the pass fake? Yeah.
Listen,
pass fake it's essential. I mean, look at Jordan.
It's your trademark. Listen, you know how I got the triple threat Jordan, and I didn't realize it, but the other day I was playing, and I did a fake pass or whatever, and it just did that palm. I was like, oh, okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's good, right? It creates a lot of separation.
Sure does.
Yes, sir. So let's get into our NBA awards. End of the season. This is it. So, we gotta talk about, who we have this season, who's gonna come away with a couple of trophies. Start with the MVP. You want me to go through my list and you go through your list, or you want to go one by one?
No, we can go back and forth. Yeah, well, I'll let you go first, and I'll go with you on it.
All right, so let's do MVP last. Let's start with Coach of the Year. I got Kenny Atkins.
Coach of the Year.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Mark Dagley and all.
Mm-hmm.
You could go JB Bickerstaff, what they're doing in Detroit with the Pistons.
That's actually where I'm going with. I'm going to go Bickerstaff.
Okay, you got Bickerstaff.
Mm-hmm.
Most improved player. Now, this was really tough for me. It was either between, you got Dyson Daniels, Austin Reeves. Those are my top two candidates. When I look at most improved, I'm not looking at louder. Like, even though Dyson Daniels, he was the 10th pick, but no one was really expecting. He just got traded from the Pelicans. It was kind of just like a piece. Now he's a guy. I mean, that started 5 for the Hawks. Could be pretty good. It could be pretty good next year. You look at Young, Daniels, Rishashir, Jalen Johnson, and Okongwu. I mean, that's pretty dangerous. And Dyson Daniels, progression this year, leading the league in steals by a wide margin, like running away with the numbers. Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Austin Reeves. Everybody said his game would take a hit, bringing in Luka. They do the same thing. He's a watered down version of Luka. He won't be able to dominate, put up good numbers. And then we're seeing 75 points combined. Seeing all these other stuff from the 3 players, and 25, 5-5, first trio to ever do something like that. All 3 guys make 2 threes. All these record-breaking numbers that they're putting up. And Austin Reeves is there as well. So averaging 24 and 5. This was tough. This was tough for me. I'm gonna go Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves. This is very difficult between him and Dyson Daniels. I'm gonna go.
See, I thought you would have went Daniel, so I was going to try to have someone else. I was actually going to lean towards, and you may not like this one, but I'm going to go with Cade Cunningham. I mean, he was out last year. Of course, I'm staying with Detroit, I guess, with this, but let's see here. Last year, he had 22 points on 62 games. But this year, he has moved up 26, 6 rebounds and 9 assists. So he's flirting with the double-double at that position and getting 6 boards with that. But plus the games that they won last year to what they are doing this year, I'm going to have that weigh more heavily as they're relevant now. Like they are. Are they in the play-in?
No, they're not. They're 6.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So they're in the playoffs. So, I mean, they went from being the joke, laughingstock, 27 in a row they lost last year to this year. So I'm going to go with Cade Cunningham as being the lead for that.
All right, going with Cade. All right. Rookie of the year, I got Stephon Castle, San Antonio Spurs. Alex Sarr, Zachary Rashid, they've really hit their stride here late. They made a great push, and I think it's actually fantastic that they're playing well this late because it takes a while, right, to get acclimated. It's their first time playing in an 82-game season. You have to figure out your routine. You're not going to have your routine game 1 of 82. That's just not real. This is not realistic. Even in a different type of profession, you're not going to be able to develop that type of structure right away. So for them to start playing better now, And then that's just going to go into the off season, the summer, and the pickup games and summer league. So all the reps that they're going to get after this season, despite playing well in these last few games of the season, I think the top 2 picks, I think we'll ultimately look at this draft class in a couple of years and say like, yeah, the hype wasn't as great as it was, but I think Sarr and Richard, they're going to be good. I think they're going to be good. It's going to take some time. I just think it's going to take some time. He just had 36, had 38 the other night too. Sarr's getting 20-point doubles.
Yeah,
that rookie class in DC, only rookie trio in NBA history for all 3 guys that make 100 threes in a season, with Bud Carrington, Alex Sarr, and Keyshawn George. So that team in DC, they could be something special if they get Flag. I think they can make some noise over there, and for the Wizards, get someone like Flag, and Sarr as your front court for the next five years.
How crazy would it be if next year they do get Flag their off season, and next year the Wizards have a better record than the Sixers? How hilarious would that be? It's pushing. It's pushing. I don't think it'll happen, but I will agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you as far as Castle. There's really no other one that stands out. At the beginning of the year, I said Rob Dillingham was my pick, but he was also drafted to the Spurs, and I was saying that Wemby's attention that would be out there, Chris Paul as well, but then, of course, he was traded right away. So same scenario goes for him. I mean, as a rookie, 14 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 4 assists as a rookie, and your third option getting 14, 15 points. I think it's really good for a rookie to keep moving.
Yeah, for sure. Isaiah Collier from the Jazz out of USC had a really good season. I like him and Keyshawn George in Utah as a nice young backcourt there. Clarkson's still there, veteran guy with marketing. If they get Flag, that'll be a nice that Flag and marketing. Walker Kessler, that 3 through 5, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. Flag, marketing, and Kessler. You're 3 through 5.
That's pretty tough.
It's a tough night. It's a tough night.
Yeah.
So, Jazz got some nice pieces. 6th man of the year. I got Peyton Pritchard. I think it's a lock.
I think it's a lock.
Probably should win it unanimously, in my opinion.
Yeah.
40-point games, couple 40-point games.
Buzzer beater after buzzer beater.
I think he continues to play well. He might bet on himself. A lot of these teams, they're going to need a guard, and he was really good at Oregon, and he was the best player on that team. And that team had Dylan Brooks and had some good players on that team. Right? He was the best player on that team. So he gives me Brunson vibes in terms of he's a smaller guy, was at school for a few years, but is fearless. But he's just on a fantastic team. Or, I don't know what's going to happen with the holidays. There's a lot of, they're playing 2 guys $300 million.
Yep.
So money situations, things might happen to where he may ultimately become a starter for the Celtics. So, I think one of those 2 things happen, because if he continues to play well like this, he's gonna bet on himself. He's not gonna just be content with being a 6 man for the rest of his career. But right now, this year, what he's done, he's really found his groove. Few years into the league, 6 man of the year for sure. What you got? You got Pritchard too. Right?
Yeah, I think it's a lock, really.
DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year. I got Evan Mobley. I think a lot of people probably they're going with Draymond, but for me, the Cavs been a great defensive team all year, and he's been the forefront of that.
He's the backbone. Yeah,
no question. I mean, his 2-way ability now he's scoring more too, so I might bring Silo on the call. They just got to win against the Knicks on the Knicks' last home game of the season. Big win. They were down 20, came back, got the dub. Big time second half performance by the Cavs. Great defensive performance, and he's the guy changing plays. I was kind of looking up a little bit, as we do the show. I was like, These guys don't even want to go to the basket when he's in the middle. So that's what he does. That's what he does. And Kenny Atkinson challenged him on both ends, and I think he's been a top candidate for the. I think he was a top candidate last year. He was in my top 3 last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year he gets the award. Definitely earned it.
I agree. I would say this: Wemby was probably one of the front runners until the blood clots that went on. What he does, of course, is the block shots. That's one thing that sticks out big time for these voters, apparently. But I think it's Mobley's for this, honestly.
Sure. And then last but not least, MVP, most valuable player. Man, what a race.
We doing clutch?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we can add this. It's new. I don't know. It's not on the level of the other awards to me yet.
I'm with you. That's fine.
Like, who's the most clutch regular season player?
Yeah.
It's like when it really matters, the postseason is really what we care about. But who?
Yes.
But just for the sake of argument, who would you have?
It's hard not to say Jokic. I will say this. I think Brunson's also one that should be up there in clutch. I think SGA should be mentioned in that, but most of the game, I won't say most, but a lot of their games weren't in clutch situations, you know? So that's one thing that I think would hurt him. So I would say Jokic, even though he's not scoring, that's a lot of the heavyweight on that is scoring in the clutch moments. But the assists that he causes with that, I would go with him. Even he's had some last-second shots this year, of course, half-time shots or whatnot, and just beautiful shots. But I do think Brunson makes a good argument here. Who would you pick? I'm going to go with Jokic, but I think Brunson is there.
Yeah, I would go with Brunson before he got hurt. Those 65 games, 64 games or so. Hitting some clutch shots, big shots for us, big time moments. It's what he always does. He's been doing it since he's been a Knick. And I would go Brunson for the argument. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest because, like, no disrespect, like Fox won it and they got bounced out in the first round. So it's like, you know, the same thing. I think the Rosen won it one year, and then they got eliminated. So it's just, but yeah, MVP. This was a great. It was a great race. It's a great race. I mean, Jokic it was between 2 players the whole year. Now Giannis made a good run. He's always going to be in the discussion, averaging 30, 13, and 7. Like, it's different. Jokic being top 3 in points, rebound, and assists, and being top 5 in steals, averaging a triple-double. Damn near third most triple doubles in a regular season all time in NBA history, behind Russell Westbrook and Oscar Robertson. That being said, I went with SGA. I mean, he was the best player all year. The amount of records he's put up, and again, it's just gradual steps. You know, people are going to critique. I don't like the people critiquing him and they say he's a foul. You know, he baits for fouls, and no, there are times where we do see that, but that's not his whole game, you know. And I think that the narrative that people are creating, they're just trying to make it seem like that's his entire game. Even you hear some announcers from his opposing teams, they're saying it. They're saying it like that's just how he played. Great teammate, great defender, one of the best scorers in the league, efficient on all 3 levels, knocks down his 90% free throw shooter, 50% from the field, 34 plus from 3. I mean, what else are you really looking for from a superstar player? Like I said, a fantastic season, most 30-point games this season, most games of 20 points this year, up there with Jordan, Kobe. I mean, it's he had a fantastic year, man. Again, it's not 7 foot, 1 arm, half, 7 third quarter full court passes, like shots, like we're seeing with Jokic, but he does it his way and it impacts winning. And it's not just, he's the best player on the best team, let's give him the award. He's one of the best players in the league, and he's on the best
team. And that's why his team is the best team.
Exactly.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's just it's so hard to not say Jokic for the fact that statistically he's probably having, if not one of the best statistic seasons in the NBA history, probably. The 40 triple double or 40-point triple doubles, or you keep on going with all that. But I don't think it always should go to the guy that's on the number one team. But SGA has led his team to have an 18-game win, I think 18 or 17 games ahead of Jokic. So I think that has to weigh a little bit on it. And two, I think I seen this a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if it still holds true, but SGA leads in points. SGA is in fourth in points without the fourth quarter. So from 1 through 3 quarters of points that he has scored, he's still in like the top 5 in the NBA. So what he's doing is amazing, basically, as a point guard in a league where centers have been winning it constantly. I guess the last time a guard won it was, well, Harden. What year was Harden win it?
2018.
So it's probably last time we had a guards, almost a decade ago. And so I think because SGA also was runner-up last year, I think it's helps him in this case too. So I'm going to say SGA, but I wouldn't have hurt feelings if Jokic won it again.
Just got a notification on my phone that Jokic averaged a triple-double this season. Does that change your mind? It's just locked it in. Jokic makes more history. Jokic secures another record as he will average a triple-double in the 24-25 campaign.
Can we just have a co-MVP this year?
No.
I hate that because it's like
these votes are going to be interesting, man. You know, and I don't really know these people that vote. I don't know how much they really. I feel like a lot of them are hype beasts. You know, they just kind of go with what's even though obviously Jokic could win it, but are they really watching SGA? You know, are they really watching those OKC games? Like, are they really watching those OKC games? You know, so. Are they really watching another game?
Yeah, it's just really crazy that your 2 MVP candidates that are, one is number 1 in the Western and 2 Nuggets. What are they, 3rd now or 4th? Well, I think they've lost a few, so they might have 4th or 5th, I guess. But anyways, still, Jokic has not had an all-star player on his team and still has won a ring. He's not had a superstar or an all-star with him. SGA, I don't think he's had an all-star with him at OKC. So we've got basically one player on both teams that are leading their team. So
Jalen Williams went to the All-Star game, right? This year.
Did he this year? Okay, so this year he's got one, but I don't think prior years there has been anyone else.
No.
So I just think that's pretty cool because usually you got an all-star with other all-stars on the team that's winning the MVP. This year it's legit. This is their superstar. This is their superstar, and it's between these two guys. And yet again, it's going to be someone that's not American that's going to win this. Of course, SGA's from Canada. Jokic is overseas.
Serbia.
NBA is definitely international now, and honestly, it's good for the league.
Yeah, of course, yeah, it's great. It's great for the league, man.
Yeah,
it's great. That being said, like you still got, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum. You still got our American-born guys right up there too.
Absolutely.
Tatum, and Mitchell. Their teams are so great. They don't have to average 30, and like you said, like that's the difference, right? Tatum and Mitchell, they have the all-stars. It's top players around them. So their points their numbers are going to look less, but that doesn't the impact is still the same. That's why again the playoffs matter because all of that stuff doesn't matter anymore. Now it's just who's the best, and we will find out soon. But yeah, best conference and the best team in the best conference all year by a wide margin, as you said. And what he was able to do is just a walking 30, 6 and 7. It'd be different if his field goal percentage was like 43. It's 52%. So like people have to relax. Man.
So So you have SGA, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Man, averaging a triple-double, that's tough to not win the MVP.
I mean, Russ did it, 3 out of 4 years? He got the MVP on one of them in 2016. So let's look into the standings here now. I'm just going to refresh this because I had this posted up before these games are done. And there's still some games going on right now. It's actually a lot of games going on right now. But right now, we're going to look at the playoff picture in the league. Play-in starts April 15th. Playoffs start April 19th. It's going to be crazy, bro. It's almost that time. Almost that time. All right, play-in. 9-10, we got the Kings and the Mavericks. Let's do some predictions, man. What's up? What we got?
I'm going to go Mavs because I want them to win it. But I'm going to go Mavs. I think AD playoff is going to say, hey, this is one game. I got to go out here and show my fans why they traded for me and was okay trading Luka.
Okay, so you think AD, even though he didn't play well in the return game for Luka, he said, you know what, bounce back game. Let's try to get this 8th spot. We're going to defeat the Kings.
I'm hoping for that. Yes. He's Data Davis. So yeah, last day was no good. This one's going to be great.
Data Davis.
Who you got?
It's a good matchup. Regardless of whoever was playing in, out, different lineups, different players throughout the season, these were good games between the Kings and the Mavericks. They always played well. I expect nothing less in this game. I'm going Dallas. I don't trust Sacramento's defense. I know Levine, DeRozan, Sabonis. Can they go 60+ combined? Sure. Honestly, that should be a lock. If you ask me, should be a lock. Should be what we expect. But they don't get enough stops. They don't get enough stops in my liking. They have stretches where they completely cannot guard anybody. But they come back because they have great players, and then it's a close game. This will be a close game, I believe. I just feel like Sacramento, they just go through stretches where they're not able to get stops, and I think that ultimately hurt them. Grizzlies, Timberwolves. Woo! This was a first-round matchup a few years ago. Went to 7. Now they're in the play-in, all things considered. Now, when you look at playing in the West, it's an asterisk, right? It's just like the team is so stacked. Somebody has to be there. I think things could possibly still change right now, but if it started today, Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. Who you got? I got Minnesota.
Me too.
Right, Minnesota.
You asked me like I was going to be able to answer first, and you said Timberwolves. Guys, I want y'all to know I have my own opinion, but CJ says it first. But yeah, I think Timberwolves. I think Anthony Edwards. This is his time again in the playoffs to say, hey, we're coming in here, and he's ready for that Rockets matchup, in my opinion. I think that should be a fun game, too. Of course, you've talked about Julius and Edwards here lately, been playing a great duo together. Plus, Grizzlies got some stuff going on. I mean, they fired their coach recently. Why in the world? So, I mean, who knows how that chemistry as far as coaching and players are going right now. Just some questions are in the air, I guess. So I'm feeling more comfortable betting on Timberwolves.
Yeah, Minnesota, their identity is defense, despite having gifted offensive players like Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle, Nikhil Alexander Walker. But yeah, Memphis, I don't like the way they've been playing defense since Taylor Jenkins, the removal of Taylor Jenkins. They don't get stops. They tried to fight back last night against Minnesota. They tried to make it interesting, but you can't play like that. You just it's not sustainable, and you're at home. So I do expect them to play better if they were to match up again, just based on the loss that they had yesterday. They can learn from the film, but I still feel like the interior presence defensively from Gobert is going to matter because they have Edie out there. So if Edie's not able to outperform Gobert offensively, that helps Minnesota, because even though Gobert is not a great offensive player, what he does best defensively will outweigh what Edie does if Edie's not getting touches and things of that nature. So
I also think Edie can't get away either. As far as spreading it out, putting Gobert on the island like we've seen during playoff times, you can't really isolate him too much with Edie because, usually it's a pick, fade, give up the whole switch and let him work that way. But Edie's not going to be too much of a threat staying out too far. So I think that helps Timberwolves as well on their defensive matchups or how they present that.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And in that, Ja has to be more of an outside shooter. Now, he's been starting to shoot a little bit more from the outside in these last, 15 games or so. And he's going to have to work at that part of his game because if you have, for the reason you just explained, since Edie's not a great three-point shooter, it's on Ja because they're going to go under that screen every single time. They're going to go under all the time. So you have to make them pay. Just like Anthony Edwards has been making people pay. Top of the league in three-point percentage, top of the league in three-point makes this year. I mean, his form is perfect, man. It's just when he's locked in, he's Jordan. On. Yeah, very similar. Wade, Jordan, definitely combination of those two. That's what I see. When I watch him play, I see like a 6'4", 6'5" version of Wade with a better three ball, and the athleticism is different. When he's on, when his three-point is, it's just like Luka too. I mean, when his three-point is on, good luck, because you're not staying in front of him off the dribble. So he's got to either catch a body or you just have to move out the way. He's dangerous.
All right, so
when Randall's going on, when Randall's got it going too, it makes it even tough. And what they've been able to do over the last couple months, the top of the league in three-point percentage. So now you're adding the floor spacing with Randall and Ant-Man. Really, predominantly also they like to slash and get to the basket. Nasty squad. Nas Reed healthy, former man of the year. He's healthy now. Knocking down the shots. I got Minnesota in this one. Let's go over to the East. Playing Bulls and the Heat. Miami's been playing well as of late. So has the Bulls. It's going to be a really good game. They've matched up in the play-in already before. I think that was 2023, I believe.
I think so.
Who you going with, bro?
Miami Heat with Hero, Bam, and company are going to go into the play-in the Bulls in this play-in game and have their first playoff without Jimmy Butler, and they're going to lose. I'm going with the Bulls.
You got
as
the
much
Bulls.
As I hate to do it. I just feel like they're clicking right now pretty much on all cylinders when they are going. Like you talked about earlier, Giddey, the way he's playing with all the other ones, I just feel like their confidence is higher. Let me not say they're firing on all cylinders, but their confidence is really showing on the way that they play right now. And I think they feel like they can beat anyone. So I'm going Bulls here.
Bulls, yeah. It's definitely a pickle, man. It really is. Both teams have great nights, and then they have lackadaisical nights. Miami has been playing really well as of late. They caught an L, and they just got another win. Hero Bam plays some great basketball, man. We talked about this. They have a bright future to me because they're young guys already have elite playoff experience. Been to the finals twice. So it's like that's rare. So like the Celtics, like that's rare that your young guys have so much playoff experience before the age of 30. You don't really, it's different. So coaching, Billy Donovan, Eric Spoelstra, it's great. It's great on each side. You're obviously going to favor Spoelstra, but the way Josh Giddey's been playing as of late, Giddey and White, they both got it going. It's going to be difficult to stop. It's going to be difficult to stop.
Who you picking?
I'm gonna go Miami. I'm gonna go Miami on this one.
Okay.
Go Miami on this one. Like I said, this is a close game. I mean, their records are right here, right, real close.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna just factor in the coaching just a little bit for Spoelstra there. Yeah.
I'm not mad at you picking Miami. It's okay.
It is 9-10 is always gonna be close games. 7-8. I got Orlando.
I do too.
I got Orlando.
I just don't believe in Atlanta anytime. So, of course, Magic, they were up there this year. I mean, had some injuries go on. They've been very close to being in the playoffs lock all season long. Of course, they come up 3 wins short, falling behind Detroit here. But I just feel like they have the deeper bench. So I'm with Miami.
Going Miami. So you got the Hawks versus.
I said Miami. Magic. I'm sorry, Magic.
So you got the Hawks. So you got the Hawks versus the Bulls for the AFC.
No. Oh yes. There we go.
So you got the Bulls. So you got the Bulls with the AFC.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go Bulls beating the Hawks too.
All right. Miami versus Atlanta. Go Miami.
So either way, we're going with the 9-10 being the 8th seed over the Hawks. Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I think for Atlanta, I want to see how they look with Jalen Johnson in that lineup. I think they're going to be dangerous once they get Jalen Johnson in the lineup there, and they've been playing well too. But like I said, the way recent years been playing as of late, he might have one of these breakout games. For sure. Let's look at the top 6s in both conferences. Number 1 seed is also locked, so we don't really have to talk about that.
Right.
3-6 has been a lot of talks of 3-6 in the East with the Knicks and the Pistons. Pistons got a win against the Knicks last night. Just I don't know what's going on with the Knicks right now. They're not finishing the season well. They're not finishing the season well. Have not been impressed from what I've seen from New York as of late. But people think that the Pistons could upset the Knicks in the first round. They went 3-1 against the Knicks this season, 2-0 in the Garden. So it's going to be a fun matchup, I believe. Who you got?
I'm going to say the Knicks for the fact alone that they have been in the playoffs numerous times here in the recent years. Brunson has so much playoff experience, Mr. Clutch, what we're considering ourselves. And the Pistons, they've not been in a playoffs yet. So I'm just going to put that's going to play a big factor in this matchup of Knicks are used to this. They know what it takes. I'm going to go with the Knicks. And I believe in Brunson.
Now, we're doing quick predictions for the East because the West is still not set in stone yet. So I don't really want to do predictions yet for the West because these 1 or 2 games are really going to decide seeding.
Right.
Before 5.
I hope we don't have a Laker Warrior.
Or you rather see it in the second round?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. But somebody has to go, man. I think it's great. I think it's a great first round. It's probably the most watched first round series ever.
Absolutely.
I don't even think they'll break all first round records view watch wise for sure.
I even think the Nuggets and Clippers are going to be really fun to watch on that.
A lot of history. Woo! Zubats versus Jokic. It's a fun matchup. But we'll talk about that on Tuesday. 4-5 Bucks in the Pacers. Bucks and the Pacers. No, I know Lillard. I don't think Lillard's going to be there. I'm actually hold off on that because I don't know what the time is for Lillard. I don't know if he's going to be able to play. I don't know if he's playing this series. That changes a lot, for my answer. So I don't know what. I see him out there on the sideline with the team, but I don't know if he's actually going to come back. Blood clots. That's tough. They said he was out for the regular season, but they never said he was out. Yes. Period. Like he wouldn't be able to come back for the postseason. So, I think we should definitely wait until we get more information on that. But I think it's a 7-game series either way. Between the Pacers and the Bucks, they know each other well. They don't like each other at all, and it's going to be a battle. I feel like the Pacers, they just up their intensity just a little bit more when they go up against the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, we know the rivalry. They're just the storylines between the Pacers and the Bucks in the past 3 years. I think it's going to be interesting. If we do get Lillard, I think, like you said, it changes things. But I'm going to pick the Bucks no matter what because they are my dark horses this year, and I just feel like Lillard or no Lillard, I think the Bucks are winning this series.
All right.
Just because Giannis is going to put him on his back and carry it.
Yeah, I mean that he could definitely do, for sure. All right, we're getting over to 222. I appreciate you guys on a Friday. Locked in. And Michael, where can the people find you?
Find me MDLawson00 on all social media platforms. You can also check out my Cats Chat pod, Everything Kentucky Sports. We cover everything that's going on right now. The whole transfer portal is like going crazy. We just had a decommit, so that changes things, but I think it's more of a mutual part because we're focused more on the transfer instead of high school kids. It's just where college is going. But check that out on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time as well.
So you can catch me on here as always on X, CJames9 _ on IG, CJ.James9, CJ versus the World on YouTube. I got the link tree in the description. You can follow all my social medias for the gaming page. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah. Have a good one.